in that week leading up to Cardiff, people realised that this was it, and we went there on that Friday night. I think just to say goodbye, to have one final moment with the players, and to have a final moment with a loved one before the life support machine was switched off.
It was a minor miracle Aldershot in yellow made it to Cardiff at all last night. A whip round from the Welsh fans raised £6,000 for their unpaid players, but it didn't stop Nathan Blake putting Cardiff ahead inside 10 minutes. And Aldershot and their 5 YTS trainees hung on until 10 minutes from time, when Carl Dale stuck out a leg to make it 2-0. Whether Aldershot can hang on long enough to play York City next Friday looks highly unlikely. It certainly felt like goodbye at full time.
Standing here on the Eastbank, this is where I first watched Aldershot Football Club in 1974. The first ever game was on April the 13th, 1974, against Cambridge United. It's a 6-0 win, and it was Jack Howell scoring a hat-trick. I didn't stand here on that game, I actually stood in the North Stand, but thereafter, when I first started coming to games on a regular basis, this was where I always stood with my dad, my brother, and my happiest memories as a child, without any question, was standing here watching heroes that became part of the fabric here at Aldershot, and players who many decades later are still spoken about with such fondness. Players like Murray Brodie, Alex McGregor, Joe Joplin, Glenn Johnson. You could roll that team from the late 70s off far better than I could these days, where it's just something that is entrenched in my mind, that how much those players meant to me.
The wrong people perhaps were getting involved with the football club. They didn't understand the DNA of the football club and the DNA of how important the supporters club was. There was times when the supporters club became more isolated from the board of directors. In my opinion, was a major mistake by the people running the football club. And then it got worse and worse and worse, and when Terry Lewis became the chairman, the club again was in financial crisis.
But a sad day for the football club, absolutely. It was like losing a close friend or a member of the family. People probably think, what's he on about? But people that don't follow football will think I'm talking gibberish. People that do follow football will know exactly what I mean, and that's how I felt. Probably how we all felt, yeah, very, very sad day, very sad occasion.
But that night at Cardiff, I'll never ever forget it. I thought I'd lost something that was really, really dear to me and meant everything in my life, and still is a massive part of my life to this day. But at that time, there was nothing else that was really important to me apart from football. So with the likes of Terry Owens, Graham Brookland, and those people that pulled it together, as a young fan, I couldn't really see the impact that they had, but that legacy for that bit to be living today, I'm eternally grateful to those people, because having a football club in your community, don't kid yourself, it's so important. That thought of losing it broke my heart. I had tears in my eyes, worrying that we were going to lose, but the rest is history, and the rising of the phoenix, I don't think we can ever forget that, and I'm eternally grateful to those people that gave us this football club back when I thought all was lost. Thank you.
Of all clubs, and unfortunately so many clubs up and down the country are suffering financial hardships, getting themselves into difficulties, chasing some unattainable dream. But Aldershot Town, of all clubs, know that you cannot and should not do that, because we know where it can end so painfully and so horribly. In the end, March 1992 was probably the best thing that could have happened, because out of that horrible low grew this beautiful new thing, and it was the phoenix rising from the ashes.